you were very kind in giving me what I would say, attributing certain things which is not true. I guess behind every successful woman from WSP, we have NSRCEL. So all of y'all are the reason why mentors, you folks, I'm just a prop up in the front. People get to see me, but they don't see the hard work that all of you all put. I just have to turn up here and say nice things and smile a couple of times, and people think I'm the one who's working very hard, but that's not true at all. So yeah, all of us together are working, and I work sometimes, not always. Yeah, NSRCEL is perhaps extremely committed, has been committed for over decades in terms of nurturing women entrepreneurship, much before I joined. We had Professor Kalyani Gandhi, Ganesh Prabhu, and a few others who have been the pioneers in coming up with a program like this, and subsequently I just happened to be the right person at the right time, and a large chunk of money came in, and we were able to leverage the technology to increase the scale of operations. So with that disclaimer, welcome all of y'all. I guess the rock stars are our women entrepreneurs. These are the ones who are bringing us glory. We have been working very hard, but then WSP3 has shown us that it is indeed possible for programs like this to grow beyond Bangalore, go beyond location, and start interacting and nurturing women entrepreneurship wherever they are. And that, I think, is one of the biggest value add that, well, yes, we have had some really tough times over the last 1 year. But if there's anything that COVID has brought about, it's the digital consumption. And thanks to that, our ability to nurture enterprises which otherwise would have not been able to be mentored, because we are so focused on what is in front of us and not really paying attention to people across the country. WSP3 has been super successful thanks to our women entrepreneurs, and also thanks to Ankita, Jibin. They really put in a lot of hard work. But our women entrepreneurs have also done phenomenally well. Whenever they do well, they're bringing us accolades, which is also very good for us. So we do hope that WSP4 also brings us the similar levels of glory, and then the kind of bonhomie that the previous cohorts have. So I welcome all of y'all to this. So Ankita, did you plan? So the way in which you're thinking is you're also looking at some form of interactions with our attendees, right? So are you looking at that as well, or you would want us to speak for an hour and interact? That is certainly possible.
Yes, so I think, Prof, you could ask each one of the founders present here and the panelists on how WSP kind of changed their lives, and they could share their experiences right from MOOCs. Most of them actually started with an ideation stage, like Poonam and Mansi. They also kind of pivoted between. So how important is it for them? And there are a couple of questions which I'll be happy to answer in terms of the program stuff.
So we are also taking some questions from the participants from our attendees.
Yes. We can take that in between. We're monitoring the questions, but right now we can do it.
Okay, so basically you would want them to say nice things about us, and then make sure that so folks, the instructions are clear. You can only say nice things. You can't say anything which is not nice. You don't have that opportunity. But broadly, if you could quickly, each of you all tell where you were when you started, because it's much of enterprise and enterprise development is like playing those games, right? Really long games, which I used to waste a lot of time on all these mahjong and these slightly complex games, and we don't want to get in there again because it looks very complex. But once you start to move in, when things start to become clearer. So compared to where you are right now, if you were to look back and say like this is where we started, and maybe in addition to the point at which you started when you interacted with us, what was the biggest question that you all had while you were about to enroll yourself or program? So maybe each of you all could.
Sure. If I could start that, Professor.
Go ahead, Nia.
So, I mean, I was introduced to NSRCEL by my co-founder, and when I started researching, I figured out, that this was the perfect program, for a woman entrepreneur, which is very few, right? I mean, to be able to understand, a woman entrepreneur's need and to be able to help that, woman entrepreneur to develop a product, which could be worthy of the current environment, right, was something that I was looking for in an incubator. And basis that, when I enrolled into NSRCEL, and thankfully, and with good fortune, I got enrolled into, the WSP program, and we started off with MOOC. Right, and literally when it's an online program, but it kind of gave in a gist of how exactly the entire flow of events would be. And very frankly speaking, when we started off with building our entire business model, and that's where we started it off, right? The majority of us have done our MBAs in the past, and we take it as a task that this could be a possibility. It's again one of those tasks that we do. But when we started doing it at WSP, we realized that it's just not that one instance that we're creating it. It becomes a part of our life. And we till date, when today, when we joined this particular, program, we were in our MVP stage. And we had just, built up product basis, certain client feedback. But as and when, through this program, today, if I see myself, we have accomplished, having customers across the world. We have set ourselves in Singapore as well as in India, and today we are, a very successful revenue generating company. And because of where we started off until date, throughout this journey, I felt that every time, the milestones that we had to achieve, the mentorship, right, that we kind of had throughout this journey helped us to nurture and guide us throughout this path. And we could have never imagined it singularly. If we would have started as a single entity and not been a part of WSP, probably we wouldn't have been where we are today. And we are today because of, definitely the entire faculty and the mentors of, WSP, but also the community, that we became a part of. Now, a lot of times single founders, it's very difficult for us to be able to understand the markets, to be able to, decide on what works for us and what doesn't work for us. And as, we were all discussing, it is our cohort that brought in that synergy into, bringing in the right perspective at any point in time. For that matter, we were able to bring in integrated solutions to be able to, go do a joint go-to-market into the industry, and that really, really helped us. So that was my bit of it. I won't take too much time here. I'd like to hear what others have to say about it as well.
So I'll go next.
Yeah, I think I keep saying your cohort was magical in terms of cohort interactions.
Absolutely.
So probably until WSP4 breaks your record, as of now, you guys are holding the gold standards of interactions. Yeah. Poonam, you wanted to go ahead.
Yes, so thank you so much, Professor Suresh. Yeah, definitely a very, 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 very active cohort it was, and I can't thank my God enough for this opportunity. Not just being in NSRCEL, but the entire group of the women that we worked with. So I think the magic was, it was a combination of it all. But if I were to really talk about the beginning aspects of how what NSRCEL did for me, I had already been in the IT world, and I had already done two ventures before I came in. So I was standing at this point in life where I knew anything next that I wanted to do had to be with my soul blueprint. I didn't just want to do a business, so coming from the agricultural background, being in the organic scene right in the beginning, I knew I wanted to do something very mission oriented, and it was coming from a pain point because I was an organic consumer for more than 10 years. So I knew I had to do something. For me, if I were to sum up the fact that I was just at the idea stage, didn't know what to do. I was thinking, should I go become a farmer and start producing organic produce, or should I look at all these fallow lands that are going waste and eroding away, and nobody's looking after them? People have made investments, dumped them, they are aged, they can't take care of their children, have gone abroad. Should I go look after those fallow lands, or should I, with COVID being really in the thick of things, we were literally baptized by fire, so Jana Ana traveling became a massive challenge. So what do we do that can also take care of the current change, the sudden change of the entire life pattern? Then we said, okay, I think as we did the MR, we figured out, and all of this happened, this market research, and moving the idea from one stage to the other, pivoting, even at the idea stage, just pivoting from one place to the other, to coming to a point where we become an online shop, is my entire journey of 1 year with NSRCEL. And I can tell you from my experience that I've done two ventures before. So if you were to take there are two ways to travel from point A to point B as a destination. You either walk it or you take a flight if it is too far away. For me, NSRCEL was my flight there. Okay, so I just simply would sum it up there.
Thanks, Poonam. Nicely said.
Great. So can I continue?
Yeah, go ahead, Mansu.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. To start with the questions that you asked, that when we joined NSRCEL, what was that one question which I was not sure about when I started my journey with NSRCEL? My son was just, I think, not even a year old when I joined NSRCEL. So for me, the biggest question was whether I should join in, because it would require that kind of commitment. And if I join in, whether I would be able to continue with the journey. Again, a very similar story like Poonam. I have done two startups previously before I got started with Kifaiti Health. So for me, I was sure that, I have to have something which I was really passionate about and which had an impact at a much larger scale. But at that point of time, I wasn't sure whether it was the right time because my son was really, really small. Luckily, my family was a great support. The entire NSRCEL cohort, Ankita, Jibin, everyone were a huge support. So for me, last 1.5 years have been like the biggest support. If I can't imagine any single day getting up and not having WSP in my life, because it's not just professionally. As we were talking about personally, also we help each other out so much. Professionally, I started with a very, very basic idea, and right now we are at a stage wherein we are also recognized by the US government, where we received the grant. So it's a huge growth for me as a person professionally. And at the same time, I'm very glad that I didn't take a step back of, letting go of my professional aspirations just because my son was there. And why I could do that? Because the support system that was offered at NSRCEL, the WSP, really didn't make me think twice that, oh, I have taken a wrong decision. I should have devoted more time to my family. No, it was all well balanced. The sessions which took place where during that time wherein, we could finish off our work and then get on to attending these sessions questions. The cohort was always there to solve your basic queries. Mentors were always approachable. Ankita has been, I mean, there are no words. I mean, for her, she has been such a big support system for each one of us, I'm sure. I mean, I can go on and on about her. So all in all, it has been a wonderful journey. Whatever I am today, definitely there's a lot of gratitude towards NSRCEL, and it will be an integral part of my entrepreneurship journey in terms of me becoming a better person, a better entrepreneur. A lot of things which Sir taught us was that it's not about, entrepreneurship is a lonely journey, no doubt about it. But if you try to create that ecosystem around you, if you try to pay it forward, you don't know when on a given day someone would be standing behind you to tell you that don't worry, I'm there, I'll help you out. You just have to pay it forward. So that is something that Sir has taught us, and we all of us believe, and we have been practicing that. And yeah, I mean, it gives me goosebumps while I try to recollect that past 1 year, and I'm sure thank you so much for everything. Yeah.
No, I agree, because that was the time when all of us were in pandemic. We had no clue. We started our program. We saw some record submissions. The interest was through the roof. And we weren't sure ourselves whether we would be able to measure up to the expectations that you were having from us. While at a smaller level we could have perhaps done, but the scale at which WSP3 forced us to think or act and get our thoughts and activities together, it was absolutely trial by fire. And as you rightly said, it was all of us giving each other space, giving each other that nudges, saying that yes, when you all start to say this has worked out, that has not worked out, but little positive inputs that we got from y'all from time to time also meant that perhaps we were also doing things right. Because in as much as we may seem like experts, in as much as we like to see that, oh, we have done it for so many years, so we should probably know, honestly, the time when you would ask questions, I'm just thinking and giving something that sounds very clever at that point of time, but without really a lot of support or evidence-based expressions that I was getting into. I really didn't have too much, the lot of things that we were doing at NSR, so saying that, okay, maybe this is not going to work out, that should work out. Just as much as y'all were going through trial and errors and figuring things out, the fact that y'all had so much expectations from us meant that we also had to get our act together, and we weren't really sure how it's going to pan out. So we were also doing a lot of trial and errors from our front. So in a way, the stars were aligned, luck was behind us, blowing through, and we have got a wonderful cohort of all of y'all. So good to hear that, Mansi. Now, Aditi, I guess you would be the one everybody would want to listen to, given the fact that quite a superstar. You're being recognized all over. People have come to me and said, I know her when you were at NSRCEL, faculty members saying that. So all yours.
No, it's all yours, Professor, and all I owe to NSRCEL very much, and Ankita ma'am, and everyone, the peers and everyone around. So yes, my name is Aditi Madan, and I'm the founder of Blue Pine Foods for everyone here. And being a bootstrapper is a blessing, right? And also it's a beautiful journey. And while I was the bootstrapper there, I was enjoying my passion and my journey of being a bootstrap, and enjoying the process of the entrepreneurship, like the process of pottery that I relate very much with, where you do a lot of molding and articulating and pivoting and so many things.
But while being in that journey, what I realized uh, was I, or am I the bottleneck as well for the enterprise? Am I the person who is so passionate about her idea, about her venture, but myself being the founder who's not gained so much of expertise in the journey of entrepreneurship, am I the bottleneck? So so the venture was going on. We were very passionate. My co-founders, we have a huge kind of age gap as well. We were like, he was also a learner. He was going through his learning curve at the same time, and me being the first generation entrepreneur as well, was having so many difficulties. So I was keep on, like, I used to go and attend sessions, seminars where it was being held in Delhi NCR around, quietly sneaking in and understanding what women founders are saying, what they are speaking about. But somehow I could not collect it and correlate it with my venture very much, until and then before, like in 2019, I had met Pinky Maheshwari. She's one of the NSRCEL Goldman Sachs uh, uh, em- uh, entrepreneur. And she told me that, Aditi, like, you need to look out to NSRCEL. Then I saw that WSP3 was launching, and thankfully pandemic also was happening, not in that way, but it was a blessing for us, because pandemic has been a blessing and a boon for me as an individual, and also for Blue Pine Foods as the enterprise as well. So then I participated and then applied, and I was wondering, would I be able, like, selected for the purpose, like, which is the product being momos or dumplings? Will I be able to convey what I want to do it as a founder, and also the enterprise or the venture, what the purpose, the vision, the mission relates to with Blue Pine Foods? So somehow it was heard, and thankful to NSRCEL that they believed in me and my venture and the idea as well, the purpose behind the product. The product was a very basic product, which I started with. That is momos. It's a very relatable product and a very basic one. But while going through the MOOC journey, I was so much happy and so much excited, because everything while going through the MOOC, when I was going through Professor Suresh Do Your Venture courses, it was all relatable. And when whatever you are doing with, always look around with the resources that you have, with the basic strength that you have, and forte and work on it. So I was very happy with that, and NSRCEL definitely has helped us a lot in correcting where we were going wrong, in speed jetting our venture to doing, like, unlearning the processes and practices that we were doing, and which was taking a long time, and also pivoting in many areas. NSRCEL has been definitely the mentors and Professor Suresh classes, sessions, and Ankita ma'am and the peers also. They gave so much of support and guidance that how things can be seen through an eagle's point of view. So I could see from a higher perspective what am I doing wrong, or what I was doing right, and how focused and how perseverant we need to be, and also keep walking on the path that we have taken and strive for, because that was the way the classes and the courses also happened. It proved that what we were doing, it was very right. So I have had an amazing journey, 1.5 years, 2 years, and onward till lifetime. I'm always blessed, and I always have gratitude to NSRCEL, because everything that I've learned, believe me, like, I had never learned about lean canvas. That is, like, there's so many things that I had never learned about. Yeah, after joining NSRCEL, I came to know about lean canvas, drawing the business model canvas, and preparing the pitch deck and pitching and all. If you see my pitching in 2020, while we submitted through mobile recordings, I myself see and, like, laugh at it. What was I doing at that point of time? Like, what was I speaking about? And how it has evolved, like how I myself as an entrepreneur have evolved over the period 1.5 years. It all depends also upon the entrepreneur, how focused you are, how much you want to persevere, and how much, like, ruthless efforts and relentless focus, or the other way around, you need to focus upon, right? So amazing journey it has been. The peers, being the POC of one of the groups was a turning point as well, because with that I could I had to manage about 15 to 20 ventures, being the active POC, how you need to be present every moment, every time, how you have to be aware and what is happening. It is no excuses. It's either day or night or morning, you have to be present. And that taught me the lot of things about being an entrepreneur, how much it has given it to me. I am myself only aware. I could not share it more with the words here. So yes, thank you so much, Professor.
Yeah. So another set of questions that I would ask before opening it up for audience questions is, many of y'all have come and told in various forums that mentors were so wonderful. They did a lot of things. They were available. So if you could share a couple of instances from your journey where that mentor has given you a very good suggestion, or interacting with a mentor clarified some doubts that you all have had, right? So how has mentorship played a role, and your interactions with mentors, how have they played a role in your journey through the WSP? Maybe Poonam, you could start. You're muted.
Sorry, I was just abruptly out of the meeting when I was talking, but yeah, I would, I had a very, of course, there were many mentors. So there were so many AMAs. So I consider so many mentors contributing to the journey. But I specifically had, Mr. Ashok Suyal, who is my regular mentor. And I think the first as a woman, in 40s, trying to do something in life, the first thing that, and having done 2 ventures, then not so successful, you're really going through a lot of self-doubt, and you're going through a lot of those patches where I think taking a step next is always a challenge. You're fighting your own wars. World will come later, right? So I think the first thing itself, the mental block that Ashokji helped me was with overcoming that fear. I said, what is there to lose? Just go ahead and roll the dice, just walk with it. And he says, your domain is great, you've got the nuts and bolts, walk with it. Let's just take a journey where we, mistakes will still happen, we'll still have learnings, but it's just that as we take a little more measured kind of approach to everything, we'll make lesser mistakes. So I think that was the biggest mental block which he helped me fight, including Ankita. Ankita was very, very key to my journey in that aspect as well, specifically because I was fighting my inner wars, and I think that's the biggest challenge, because there are billion dreamers in our country, as I also mentioned during one of my physical presence in NSRCEL. There are very handful of people who really finally decide कि नहीं कुछ करना है उस dream का, and then there are these forums like NSRCEL. I would say NSRCEL is really one of the best. I am going through others as well. So, and there are lucky few who finally get a chance to be here. That in itself is a huge, it's like you being born out of millions is the first fight, first war you win. I think that is where it is. So I think that very war of you fighting yourself and then breaking that boundary within yourself to actually take the journey is the biggest win for an entrepreneur. Eventually, once you've taken a confident step, then you don't care, whether you lose or win, because it's a learning. Never every step is teaching you something or the other. So for me, that was very critical, and it came from multiple people, specifically Ankita and Ashokji together. Yeah.
Thank you. Mansi.
Yes, sir. In my case, so we were sort of clear as to which direction we wanted to pursue, but it was very, very important to have a validation from someone who had similar industry experience. And with NSRCEL, the best part is the mentors are not allotted to you. You choose the mentors depending upon where you really require support. So that is something which I really appreciate, because in most of the other programs, mentors are just allotted to you. You don't get to choose. But as entrepreneurs, I may have marketing background, but still I may need support when it comes to specific queries related to marketing, for example. So at NSRCEL, we are given that leeway that we can choose the mentors looking at their profile, that okay, he or she has that kind of experience, and we get an opportunity to speak to them on multiple occasions. Again, it's not very limited that you get to speak to the mentor only once during the entire program. No. And the mentors are so approachable. They are always available. I mean, I am in touch with my mentors even after the program has got over. So the journey continues with them. That's the best part. It doesn't end with the incubation. And at the same time, when we receive that initial, जब वो कहते हैं ना, when the child starts walking, it doesn't happen without the parents' support, mentally and physically both. That's what happens with the ideation stage ventures. At least, like in my case, ours was an ideation stage. We started walking slowly, and we needed that validation and support, which came from very experienced mentors like Surya Narayan sir. He was from the healthcare background, and he had already done a lot of work in similar areas. So his validation was a huge support. And at the same time, he always made sure to connect us to the right people in the industry, which was a very a stepping stone for us to start talking to people outside of NSRCEL community. So having that backup from a experienced person and approaching people, and then people trying to listen to you because you have come through a reference, makes a huge difference. That path is required, that opening door is required, which definitely came through Surya Narayan sir in our case. And yes, Ankita, I mean, I don't know how many times I've called her up during night or evening. Ankita, aisa nahi, ye nahi, wo nahi, Mansi chill, kuch nahi, pareshan mat ho. So with her, so it was another lot of, personal support as well. Uh, that's what my journey as far as mentorship is concerned with NSRCEL is.
Great, thanks. Aditi?
Yes, Professor. So two people mostly have played a very pivotal role in what Blue Pine Foods or Aditi Madan is today. How the story has also been told and told in the social media and everywhere, because of how I could also portray it to Shark Tank floor and other platforms as well. One is Malvika Harita ma'am, and she has played an amazing role, because the way she brought out the branding and the aspects of what strengths we had, Blue Pine Foods had, and also me as an individual had, how a story should be told, to the world. That was helped and escorted by Malvika ma'am, and very much, and which I was also not aware, because we get being passionate founders, entrepreneurs, we get so much focused in day-to-day work and activities, we get lost, and we ourselves don't know about what good we are doing or what bad we are doing. So like, if it was like Sachai ka samna. It was like reflecting in the mirror. So that was one key aspect of how I myself have also evolved over the years, and how I tell my story now with all the strengths and with all the content that we have. And also Professor Handa is there, who has been so supportive and the blessing, and he keeps us focused so much. Even right now, everybody wonders, like after Shark Tank also, people don't see so much of post that goes into the social media regarding a product being marketed or product being we being everywhere in India, right? So that kind of focus and strategic support is there with through NSRCEL, and also like how we need to be focused in one area and not be everywhere at the same point of time. How we need to keep working on the basic, like example, Delhi NCR, we have to focus right now how we need to build up strategically, be strong, and then move forward with even the QSR segment or even the B2B or the distributorship or franchisee, everything. So that way, touchwood, we are so blessed that we don't have to do any marketing, and hardly, like most of them don't understand. So they say, why aren't you doing any marketing, or like there's no marketing activity? I said, we don't need it right now. We don't need marketing activities, because if we are marketing means we want business, we have to sell the product, right? We want to sell the product. So that aspects are not needed. So and also in the earlier days, Professor Gopal Adanki has been an amazing guidance, and also amazing professor with a lot of food ventures who were together, and also how he supported and motivated me that what I was doing, or what my vision was with the company, the enterprise, it was perfectly going in the right direction. So mostly I would say three major key role players, and obviously definitely Professor Suresh and Ankita ma'am is there for lifetime. She is always there. She's like a mother hen to all of us. Takes care of each and every entrepreneur equally, and without any bias, without any personal, she doesn't even think for herself when she is taking care of everyone. That's how WSP3 has flourished, and we all have flourished. It's all about, yes.
Yeah, true, Aditi. Completely agree. Because there was once I asked, are you going to share your mobile phone? She said, they already have my mobile phone. And then when you're going to announce results, 300 of them are going to call you. They said, yeah, 300 is okay, not bad, not too many. If I get like 4 phone calls a day, I'm like very tired by then. I think I'm getting too many phone calls, and I'll probably switch off my phone. I don't pick up because it's too much for me. So 300 people calling, and Ankita was saying, yeah, that's okay, not too much. I'll be able to talk to all of them. So yeah, we're quite lucky to have her. And also, as you rightly said, Professor Handa, we are indeed very fortunate to have him with us and give the kind of time that he gives us, given the experience and given his strategic vision in terms of telling you exactly what needs to be done. We really are pretty fortunate to have him. Right, Neha, how has your experience been with mentoring?
So, Professor, I think, from the entire NSRCEL perspective, right, what I would call one word for this entire program is it's nishpaksh, right? If you have a D2C venture, or you have a B2B venture, or it's a B2C, whether you're a sole entrepreneur or you are, you have co-founders along with you, this team of mentors, professors, is able to help you in any format, right? So and kabhi bhi nahi laga that you were a B2B, you were looking at a different perspective, and therefore there was nobody to guide you through the journey. There was always somebody who could actually handhold you through this entire thing. And I'd like to mention here Mini Murlidhar ma'am, who was quite instrumental in helping us through this entire journey. And every time that we connected, every time that she had she gave us a different a more enhanced vision to look forward. So we achieved something, and she would always expect us to achieve something, and when we would do, she would give us a better reason to go forward and look at the next goal, right? And literally on areas where we needed desperate help in terms of certain legal requirements that we had, she went and dished out a lot of legal stuff for us to be able to go through and make our decision alongside, right? We never had to just depend on one strategy or one perspective to look out for. There was always multiple ways to look at one solution, and that's across across the entire team of professors, Ankita and the mentors, I think that was one thing that was clearly, visible for us, because we never, we always had the opportunity to, go to somebody and come up with a solution. And being an enterprise SaaS platform, and as an HR tech product, initially when we started off, we were entering into a very crowded market, where HR tech is everywhere, right? And NSRCEL helped us define ourselves, right? We were competing against the transactional systems in HR, where we were trying to bring in transformation, and to be able to convey that, to the right stakeholders, whether it was CEOs of companies or HR leaders. It was very difficult because they had a very stuck mindset to say, here we are, we're already handling some bit of what we're doing in terms of employee interaction by our transactional systems, right? But when we had to bring in a thought process to say, here, listen to your people, listen to what they are saying, and that is where you would be able to bring in the kind of difference in your organization. They're the ones who are making your product, who marketing your product, who's selling your product, right? So if you listen to them, you will be able to definitely bring about that difference in the growth of the organization. You'll be able to fast track it because we're providing you real-time insights, right? And that's basically, this is the entire thought process that we had to build. And to be able to do that, we ourselves had to be strong enough, because every time we faced somewhere that we faced failures as such, we always had somebody to back us up and say, hey, don't worry, this is just the beginning. You'll fail, but you will definitely, if you keep on it, you will definitely succeed. And I think that biggest support, and I've said this earlier as well, like you have baby showers, NSRCEL is like our baby shower. The minute we think of, when we came up with the idea, right, NSRCEL came up with all the gifts and goodies and mentorship and thought processes, to be able to help us build up this baby, right? And I think that is quintessential for any entrepreneur to set off, in their journey. If they have a dream and they think, that is going to make a difference, I think WSP is the right program for any women leader. So I think that is where my entire thought process about mentorship came in from.
Thanks a lot, Neha. Kind of a good segue to get into some Q&A. Ankita, would you like to pick up some questions that you would want, and then Mansi, go ahead.
So before we get into the Q&A, I would really like to add one small point. Not only mentorship, the Founder Friday sessions that we had almost on every Friday made a lot of difference, because they were founders like us. It is surreal that now we are on the other side and we are trying to help out. So that what happened with us 1.5 years back. We were on the other side, listening to various founders from different walks of life, having had their own experience, and sharing their mistakes openly, sharing their problems openly, how did they overcome it, and being always approachable on email or phone. That was again a huge support which NSRCEL gave exposure to. It's one thing that you go through the course material, and it's other thing when you actually listen it from people who are practically trying to find out solutions to the daily problems that we face as entrepreneurs. So that made a huge difference. So Founders Fridays is definitely, I'm sure all of us, Poonam, Aditi, Neha, all of us would agree to it.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's hear from them. Before I'll then continue with this question. Thanks for bringing this up, Mansi. So Aditi, Neha, Poonam, which feature of the program resonated the most? This part was really nice. I'm sure everything was nice, but amongst the ones which were nice, which was the one which resonated the most?
For me, specifically, the very starting stage where it was only your wonderful voice in those videos, giving the very fundamental tips of how to begin, because we were at an idea stage. So it was a classic program for, ventures with an idea stage. I think it's a boon for specifically ventures of that stage, because those who've done it and they're trying to scale it, things are slightly different. They have some experience. So I think what really stuck to my head was two things. One, you said, we have so much passion when we're starting out. So it's all that energy, and we want to do so many things, and we want to go all over the place and just make it work. Those things, how you shaped it to a point where saying, enjoy the journey, don't take the stress of it. Yeah. And second thing was, go with what you have in your hands in terms of resources and time, both, not just monies and everything else, because at the end of the day we start something too big and then we are not able to handle it, and then it fails. There are so many reasons. I think that was that strategy of working within your space with the resources you have, and then see how it moves forward, and slowly steadily growing it, rather than just starting a big thing right in the beginning. That stuck to me. That's what gave me the courage to go through the next stages. So for me, that really set the tone for the entire journey.
Thanks Poonam. Yeah, Aditi.
Yes, Professor. There are so many aspects for me.
I know, you just have to pick one.
Yes. So one was like the drawing the lean canvas and reiterating the lean canvas, and knowing about the possibilities, the probabilities, and the availabilities of what we haven't seen or what we weren't aware of, even what we were doing. So it's like a self mirror again. And adding to this quickly, one more, Professor, if you allow, was the working with the accelerator app and setting the milestones and OKRs and sprint activities. That kept me very much focused, all of us, and the dream to get the grant, so that because small grant were like chota packet, which was like a booster for us, which made us motivated more to move forward as well.
Thanks, Aditi. Neha.
I think as an entrepreneur, sir, the biggest thing that when you get into something, you have a multitude of things to do. You're like clouded with, you have to do marketing, sales, you're literally looking at accounts yourself, everything, and building the product, the most important thing, right? The most important aspect for me in the entire program was, getting to create those milestones and to be achieving that. That gave us a direction. Otherwise we would have been all over the place, not able to understand what we had to do first and what we hadn't, right? So I think that was the most important thing for me throughout this exercise.
Thanks. Yeah, Ankita, now you can pick up some questions, and you can also pick up the entrepreneur that you would want the response to come from.
No, this is for you, Prof. So somebody called Saloni, if I pronounced her name correctly. So she has written, I have limited startup experience. However, I do not have a degree in management. So will that come in the way of a successful venture? Can passion and hard work make up for an MBA and a side?
Actually, that could be a great advantage. You never know. Right? So sometimes knowing too much is a huge disadvantage. So anyway, in an entrepreneurial journey, customers don't care where you went to. You could be from MIT, you could be from Harvard, you could have been the topper at Harvard. If your product sucks, they'll say whatever they have to say, they'll not come back to you. Maybe the first time they buy from you, they would imagine, oh, you're from Harvard, you topped the entire class, so therefore your idea should be good. But when they consume the product and say it's like seriously sad, all those attributes are going to melt away. So the relationship between an entrepreneur and your customer is the product or service that you are engaging in. If that is causing delight, they'll come back to you. If that's not causing delight, whatever your attributes are, they're irrelevant. They may give you one more chance, but that's about it. But usually, even that doesn't happen. Nobody cares about your wonderful degrees if your product is bad, if your service is bad. Don't worry about your academics at all.
I just wanted to also, this was my journey learning. If you see all of the top 10, 20 companies today, they are not run by MBAs and the scholars. However, remember, they are employing the top school talent to run the shows. So that is definitely something you can tick off your list. That is not what defines an entrepreneur at all. It is all about experiences and how you learn on the job and how you grow with it.
Good point. I was talking to a really young entrepreneur who has a bakery here, and she was mentioning she wanted to go study culinary courses and stay in food. And she said her grandfather said, if you go study and do culinary courses, you'll probably go sign up as a chef in one of those large places, and maybe you'll be a reputed person. But if you start a venture on your own, you will be hiring lots of people who have done their culinary courses. So decide what you want. You want to be a person who's making it, or do you want to be the person enabling people to make it and you interact with customers? And she felt that she would like to be in that space. Very young right now, but I thought was wonderful insight from her grandfather. And she's hiring a lot of people, training a lot of people, doing wonderful ventures. So it doesn't matter in terms of your education. It is your perception of how do you build a product, the sense-making faculty that comes to you because you are working on it, right? So what I would also want to tell everybody who's listening here is, while Ankita and I and NSRCEL will gladly take all the nice things people are saying about us, but none of this would have happened had the entrepreneurs not been putting in their work, entrepreneurs not getting up in the morning and thinking about their product. So whatever the activities that they are doing are only in conversation with some of us, but the decisions and running and holding the entire baby is the entrepreneurs. So that part is very, very crucial. It is not as if things will magically transform because you come to us, you take WSP, you listen to me, you listen to Ankita, you listen to all the mentors, and magically all your problems will vanish. Certainly not, right? Certainly not. The entire running journey is the entrepreneurs. We'll only be on the side clapping, go on, give some water, maybe here's a lime juice, but that's about it. But the actual running of the marathon, the people who are running the marathon know how hard it is, right? So yeah, so don't worry about degrees. A really long answer to a very short question, Ankita, I don't know.
No, that's fine, Prof. So there's a question from Gauri, and she has been resharing it again. So once you come up with the idea that you're pretty sure to go on with, how did pivoting help you in establishing it, and then it intimidate you? So Poonam, I think, is the right person to answer this.
See, having an idea is one thing, but then the very technique that NSRCEL teaches you is to put that idea through many filters of validation, which is your lean canvases and many other things. And a lot of founders who come in and tell you what mistakes they made while they were taking that journey. So it was a combination of many things that help. And then your regular mentor who's also telling you, okay, yahan jaoge to pit jaoge, wait, and then do this, do little MR, do some touch the customer first, then take the steps. So I think there were so many elements that finally help you decide ki yes, it's a great idea, but this might not be if you're running a business eventually has to make sense financially. It has to be viable because you're going to put in your time, your effort, it's going to take sacrifices, it's going to take all kinds of investments, not just money and time. So when you're taking that journey, might as well fine tune it to a point where it becomes sustainable, as well as it makes financial fiscal sense as well. It is something that if you want to eventually go out of the bootstrap mode and go to VCs, it should be something that must also excite them. So I think it is a combination of a good product and it being viable in the market when your customers say so. So pivoting it becomes an inevitable need. There's no choice there, so you have to study and be sensible that okay, here comes a point, this is not going to make sense, I need to pivot, this will make sense, you pivot. It's like taking a drive, there's a pothole, can't go through that, and you detour slightly. At the end of the day, that is how an entrepreneur must be flexible.
Yeah, I mean, to add to Poonam's point, it's very important to be, when you realize that, yeah, the changes are required, you just don't sit back and keep thinking about it, whether I should be doing it, not doing it. You have to be agile And it's I mean, what we have learned through our journey is it's better to quickly fail and then again start to run again, instead of just waiting back, thinking and being scared that what if I fail. So then you're nowhere, you're just waiting back, right? So it's better to just move on, fail, learn from your mistake, and then carry on with whatever you have learned.
Thanks, Mansi. Thanks, Poonam. So this question, maybe Aditi, you might want to take it. So Bhavisha has been asking, my business is not a very unique service, but I have some ideas on making my business special. Will this platform guide and give me a clear direction regarding this and also branding aspects? Before that, for the attendees, I'll also explain you all in brief what the program structure looks like and also when we will be kicking off with the MOOCs. So do stay tuned and we'll be answering the questions related program queries at the end. Yeah, Aditi, go ahead.
Right, ma'am. So exactly, could you please repeat again?
Yeah, sure. So Bhavisha has asked, my business is not very unique, but I have some ideas on making my business special. Will this platform guide and give me a clear direction regarding this and also some branding aspects?
Yes, absolutely, definitely. And also maybe you'll get a much greater, brighter aspect also, which you might not be aware, Bhavisha, like regarding what strength you might be having and holding, which you are not aware, maybe that will also be focused upon, and also you can definitely pivot at the same time. So only that most important aspect is also that perseverance is very much required, and patience, and the ability to take risk, because entrepreneurship journey is all about you as an individual, as everyone has been saying here, and professor too. So it's all about taking the risk, so you have to be prepared. Also, I also keep saying, mostly now after I've gone through the entrepreneurship journey, that there are different kinds of entrepreneurs, right? So what kind of entrepreneur you want to become, what is the sustainability factor that you as an entrepreneur would like to bring upon to the society as well, also depends on what kind of venture you will be building. So you will be coming through it and you'll be getting a lot of reflections and understanding different types of entrepreneurs and different types of ventures. So with that, definitely the branding and everything, branding, marketing, packaging, or lean manufacturing, every aspect will come. Only that you need to keep persevering and just have patience and just focus on what is being served to you at that particularly that point of time during the course. Just focus on that. Like come empty, with empty baggage, as professor always used to say to us like 1.5 years before, not with a lot of because if you come with a lot of baggage and expectations, then you're not able to be flexible and learn also and unlearn as well. So just, yes, be focused, have a lot of patience and perseverance, and enjoy the journey of traveling through the maze, which is completely unknown. You'll enjoy the journey.
Thanks, Aditi. So I'll quickly run through the program structure since most of y'all are very curious to attend the program ASAP. So I'll just also let you all know that if you have applied for the program, you get automatically enrolled for the MOOC course. So we do not have a selection process for that. So do not worry that, why have I not got any intimation? You might have got an application ID and a confirmation email. So just hold on for another week and we will be kicking off with the MOOCs week 0, where you will meet other entrepreneurs as well, your fellow entrepreneurs, where you will be kind of interacting with them, understand how the platform looks like in terms of the online engagement, so that you'll be able to take the course bit in a bit more comfortable way. And you'll also meet some of these previous cohort members, where they will kind of explain to you how to go about taking the course. I'll just quickly run through the slide that I have in terms of the program structure. Yes, So this is a very small group of people that how we have at NSRCEL. You might see Aditi, you might see Mansi also in them. We have an extended team of the NSRCEL team who helps kinds of coordinates with each other in terms of the program engagement. And this is the strength of the community that we have. We also have few of our mentors. So this is from a recent networking event that we had. So Women Startup Program, or WSP in short, started in 2016, and we started only from Karnataka, and around 15 of these women-led ventures were incubated. Realizing the success of how exactly we have structured the course, we scaled up our operations during WSP2 by partnering with other institutes. I'll explain in the later slides what partner institutes mean. And WSP3 was unique in the way that it was launched during peak pandemic time, and they also call themselves as pandemic entrepreneurs. We introduced few more other factors like the need assessment, buddy system, and we also increased the program footprint by adding new partners. This is in very, it's a snapshot of the program impact as on last year, September 2020, around 208 women-led ventures were incubated, representing 24 states across India with 17 sectors covered. Around 80 workshops were conducted with 1,200 hours of mentoring sessions. 45 of these incubators from the 200 plus were also from tier 2, tier 3 cities. 41% of ventures who started with an ideation stage were able to launch their product or service during the entire duration of the program. Very, very grateful because they're also contributing to the economy. Around 550 new jobs were created by the startups as on last year, and it has been growing since then. 20 CR of revenue has been generated by them. We also have a grant factor. So around 2 CR of seed funds were disbursed to some of these eligible ventures. So this is how the program structure looks like. It's a 3-stage process. So if you have applied for the program already, so you will be automatically enrolled for the 5-week of online training, which is the MOOC, where we will teach you about what entrepreneurship is all about, how you generate your idea, how do you talk to customers in the simplest terms. And like Aditi mentioned, you'll see a lot of professors' videos and also from the fellow entrepreneurs as well. Post which you will need to submit one business idea and with the video pitch. Do not worry, we will explain to you how to fill in the link canvas and that one pager of the 9 blocks that you have. We'll explain to you in detail during the course of the program, during the 5-week of the online training, and also how do you go about submitting your video pitch. Post which around 300 will be selected for the pre-incubation period for 3 months. Mostly it will be virtual, but towards the end, we will be conducting offline workshops as well, where you will kind of get a chance to interact with the other fellow pre-incubators as well. Again, you will have to submit your progress, post which around 200 of them will be selected for incubation for a period of 1 year. We will be doing zone-wise physical workshops, north, east, west, and south twice, and it will be milestones. We are a goal-focused program because it kinds of help you to give the right direction in terms of setting your milestones. So every 3 months, you set your milestones and you'll be eligible for a grant support. This is what you can expect in terms of the program offerings. We have the massive open online course. So once you are able to complete the multiple choice questions, very easy questions at the end of every course module, you'll be also eligible for the course completion certificate given by IIM Bangalore. So do go ahead, even if you have a business idea in your mind and have a lot of things running in your mind, do not hesitate. Please go ahead and apply and at least be eligible for the MOOC online certificate, a course completion certificate. Mentoring, most of our founders have spoken about the mentoring support that you will get, the one-on-one mentoring support. You will be part of the huge community that we have. We have around 10,000 women and it has been growing since then. So you'll be part of this big, strong community that we are all belong to at NSRCEL also. Legal and compliance, very important. How you register your company, because you're at a very nascent stage, and how do you go about trademark and branding is something that we also give support. Financial support, around 2.5 CR of grant support will be given to the eligible ventures, where you have to kind of pitch for that. Not just, and this is only specifically only for the WSP incubators or the business ideas, but you'll also get a chance to showcase your ideas at other startup events and any kind of follow-up funding that NSRCEL has given opportunity to. Need assessment, we believe that we have seen that you come across from different sectors, different stages. So it is very important for us to discuss with you, have a need assessment, and then appropriately tag you to the right mentor. A startup immersion, eligible ventures will be getting a chance to visit other startup nations, like an international exchange program, gain insights, and also understand how their startup ecosystem works. This is a very quick snapshot of the media, very small in fact amount of the media coverage is that most of our ventures have gotten over a period of time. You might be seeing Aditi over here getting the WTI awards. Few of our founders have also been LinkedIn Top Voice 2021. First 30 under 30. Most of them have been winners across the different type chapters that we have in India. We are very grateful to Kotak Mahindra Bank for supporting us with the 4th cohort. We have 12 partner institutions across India who will be supporting us in co-incubating you during the incubation period. We believe that a local area or a mentoring support helps during your venture, and that's why we have across India. I'll read it out. I am Jammu, I am Indore, IIT Guwahati, Sikkim, Manipal, Mizoram University, I am Lucknow campus at Noida, Kerala Startup Mission, I Create, I am Kashipur, Sirmaur, I am Vizag and Riddle at Mumbai. Also our ecosystem partners will be supporting us throughout your entire journey. So in case you haven't applied, please go ahead and apply for the program, because the next time the applications will be open is only in January 2024. So this is your last chance. So in case you haven't applied, go ahead and apply, and also spread the word to your fellow aspiring women founders. Yeah, I think I most of it covered the queries that you have all put in the chat box. I'll just see if you have. Yeah, so one biggest thing is it's a program free of cost, right? So very, very important. So make use of it. It's a 1.5 year of journey, but I can assure you that the founders sitting over here today have made it from the 10,000 with the perseverance and the kind of dedication and devotion that they had. We have also got queries on what exactly we look at in a business idea. So how well you position your idea, with that USP, something that we look at. Goal focused for sure, and also your commitment towards your business idea program, yes, is something that we look at. You might be in a very competitive space, but you might be doing things which everybody else is also doing. But how well you're positioning idea in that 3 minutes or the 13 or 16 or 15 slides deck that you will be preparing is something that we will also train you in, right? So that you are being able to give the elevator pitch in very soon. I think, yes. So, Prof, you want to add anything which I might have missed?
I have one suggestion for all those who have many questions, many doubts. The only way in which you will clear your doubts is by joining the program. We are extremely, what I would say, not diverse, but very, very accommodating in terms of who we consider as an entrepreneur. We don't see ourselves as gatekeepers to investors. We don't see ourselves as a center that only identifies good entrepreneurs. We believe ventures come in all sizes, shapes, intentions, and we also understand the degrees of freedom that some of y'all may or may not be having. So we are very open, whether it's for profit, not for profit, idea. I already have a venture, but I'm kind of stuck. What should I be doing? We only look at what is it that you want to do, and then start to also mentor you from the point of view of what is it that you want to do. If you really want to make it a lifestyle venture, it is not bad. It's just because some ventures taken $300 million, it doesn't mean that you should be taking $300 million. The journey is yours, the aspiration is yours. We are only seeing ourselves as catalysts in the journey that you are going to be doing. So we are very accommodating. We are completely open. We would also change our own ideas if we think there are certain things that we're doing which doesn't seem to be resonating with the participants. So our objective is to enable entrepreneurship, and in the process of entrepreneurship, solve the problems that are not currently being solved in the ecosystem. And you play and you decide what your boundaries of your games are. So it doesn't matter. We welcome you. So doesn't matter what your doubts are, just apply. We figure things out as we run.
Okay, Prof. Since this panel discussion is also live streamed to YouTube, so somebody from who has been attending there has posted a question, a query. Can two people interested in same venture as partner eligible for this course and move forward as a team?
Yeah, you would certainly be eligible. You would certainly be able to participate. But in case you are winning, you won't get 2 awards. Both of y'all will be. So it will be good if you come up front and say both of y'all are part of the same venture, and then make the pitches when the pitches are going to be made, because we look at you as one. But absolutely possible for both of y'all.
And most of y'all have also asked that from somebody called HJS saying, I have completed my application halfway, but I have my idea, but it is in two-way execution. Can be possible? I'm a little confused which one to present, and can I change it later?
Yeah, everything is changed, because at the end of the day, the thing about entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial journey is how do you get wiser today compared to yesterday. So in your wiser self, if you think some things have to be changed, that's okay, because that's how the game is played. Because as long as your journey is on and you are learning about yourself and your own venture, don't worry in terms of for the MOOC. Everyone is there, everyone is selected. Whoever applies, it's like trespassers are recruited with the same philosophy. Everybody who applies, you're part of the MOOC. And while you're going through the MOOC, you will understand what and how things need to be presented, what is it that you need. Instructions and clarity will come in after you. So right now, the only ask that we have from y'all is finish your application and hit that submit button. Because if you don't hit that submit button, a lot of things that you may say, so don't self-select, saying that am I doing right or I'm not doing right. You are doing it. You don't have to ask Ankita saying that is that right. You don't have to call up Vipin and saying I'm not sure what should I be doing. So here is what we say. Whatever you do is right until this point of time. Please hit the submit button. Don't wait to hit the submit button, because as I told you, all of y'all, once you hit the submit button, you are enrolled to the MOOC.
So, just trying to hear, there's a very important question which have been getting from the previous cohort also. Do we also get a space in IIM Bangalore?
Yeah, wishful thinking, but not bad, because only capability entrepreneurs have is to do. But at this point of time, no. But who knows, right? WSP 1 and 2, we gave them space. 3, we barely let them inside the campus. All these people who are saying wonderful things about us, I'm sure said a lot of nasty things when we didn't even let them into the institute. they had to take pictures from the main gate, but they're forgiving us. The thing is that, yeah, let's see. As of now, it still is a no, but it may change. We may do things differently. But WSP3 also, it was pandemic and we really didn't know what was happening. It's not that we are rescue national people. Sometimes we are, but it was also the fact that we were being very careful. Things are slowly opening up, and maybe for incubation, but maybe not launchpad with the number of plots. Once in a while, if you want to come and spend time, maybe that can be provided. As of now, you're talking about what's going to come some months later. Let's worry about it when we get there. Right now, we are only worried about whether you're submitted or not.
And since most of you have again written, I'll reiterate the fact that yes, you will get a certificate after successful completion of MOOC. It means that you will have to submit the very simple multiple choice questions that you will get it after every course modules, and then submit your lean canvas and pitch video, and then you'll get a certificate from IIM Bangalore. So if you're still wondering what do I do about it, and also for one more thing which I wanted to highlight here is you are also free to do that in any language that you are comfortable with. So you will see the transcript during the MOOC below, and different regional languages that we have. So you can go ahead and pitch in any of the regional languages also, and we're happy to take that.
Yeah. That is another thing. You make your pitches in a language that you're most comfortable in. We'll figure out how to understand that, and we'll certainly get, because there are lots of faculty members here who speak the language, whichever language that you want, and we have PGP students. We will have possibilities of understanding it. Right. But do not try to pitch it in a language that you're not comfortable with. English you're not comfortable with, don't attempt. Just attempt in your mother tongue. And because the consumers are mostly in and around your area, there's no reason why English. I unfortunately in my MOOCs will still be speaking the same language. But there are translations, and there are other transcribed in a couple of other languages in case we have issues. But those who have, the cohort is going to be so wonderful that we will be helping each other, we will be talking to each other, and a lot of help will come from multiple places. So do not have any inhibition. Just ask for favors, ask for, but this is a total out and out marketing activity, so simply finish. And that's all that we're asking. Every other question we'll answer. We'll set aside a lot more time later. Somebody said, is it a self-paced course? No, while the MOOC is on, it's not entirely self-paced. We'll release certain weeks content, and then subsequently we'll come into it. So it's not self-paced because Ilvin and Ankita will be behind you. If you have not finished certain things, they'll call you up. We have your numbers. So if you think that's, so it is certainly not self-paced. Right? We will be in your face in various ways.
Okay then, thank you, Professor, and also the four of you all that you are here. Any closing remarks that you would want to share with I'm sure you are doing a lot of promoting also the program in multiple channels and multiple platforms. Even for the attendees, we are doing a lot of info sessions. So we will be doing that when we're also kicking off with week 0 from next week. So please attend us, watch out for our emailers. Do follow our social media handles on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We are very, very active there. You'll be getting information about any upcoming events, not just specific for the for WSP, but also so many other events that we conduct. So do follow our pages so that you'll be able to get an update on that proper manner. Anything?
Just
Yeah.
a closing one.
So here's what, right? Maybe each of you all should have closing remark to allay all the fears that people are having, because you were there a year and a half ago, feeling the same kind of angst that IMB fellows are not giving good instructions, they are being confused and things like that. So if each of you all allay some of these fears based on your experience as your last comments, advices to these aspiring and participants would be great. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the fact that we had some 290 odd attendees while the session was going on itself shows that these ladies have already taken that first step of thinking that, yeah, they want to build something of their own. That itself, that realization itself takes a huge courage and takes a lot of questioning within oneself that, okay, do I leave a good paying job? Do I, start something of my own? How will it go? So there are a lot of questions as women that we go through when we decide to have something of our own. It's a very long journey ahead, no doubt about it. But the fact that all of you are present here today, attending this session, kudos to all of you. First step is already taken. Don't worry, there's nothing to lose. There's a lot to gain. It's a journey, as Professor already said. Just take it as it comes, and you will sail through. The ecosystem, the support system at NSRCEL is there. Yeah, the hard work has to come from us, but you would have the hand-holding is going to be there to take you through that journey. That's very, very important, right? It is said that it's a lonely journey, but if you have the right ecosystem in place, trust me, it is not. I mean, you get answers to a lot of questions, and just take the opportunity. I mean, how many of us are given this opportunity to actually make a difference in someone's life, right? By God's grace, we have these institutes, we have an ecosystem in place wherein we are given that opportunity to make a difference. Grab it, don't lose it, and then there's no looking back, I'm sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with Mansi. You might be at different stages of your business. I was reading some comments and questions. Some people are at idea stage, some people are already into the ventures for 2-3 years and more, and still struggling. So as long as you're running a business or you're wanting to run a business, no matter what the stage is, get on board the journey. It is a train. It will take you to your destination, because eventually, any challenges that come by, there'll be so much support system from the NSRCEL team, professors, mentors, and your cohort itself, that it otherwise is impossible to get. Let me tell you, I'm using the word impossible. It is impossible to get such a support system for running a venture. Success is the outcome of steps, but if you don't take the steps itself, then what's the point? So don't judge your idea, don't judge yourself, don't judge where you stand today. As Professor Suresh said, just take the plunge. It's called the leap of faith. Take the leap of faith first, उसके बाद छोड़ दो NSRCEL पे, अपनी आप journey हो जानी है. That is what I feel. And I saw so many people coming from Jammu. I am from Jammu, and I feel so proud. The women from Jammu are coming forward. And of course, we are Fauji children, so it's for India I speak. So absolutely wonderful opportunity. Don't miss it.
Absolutely. As Poonam was saying, right, the power of the support that you get, right? I mean, right in here in this particular seminar, right, we have a cohort who's joined in, and the amount of hooting we are getting to be a part of this, and across in all channels, they're listening to us, they're answering back your queries. So that's the power of community that you'll be a part of. So don't give up on an opportunity that is so profound, and literally once in a lifetime, right? So if you have it in you, if you think, you can stand by, anything that comes, if you have the strength to do that, I think this is the right platform for you to get on. And as Poonam said, NSRCEL will help you through, right?
Yeah. Adding to all of them, Mansi, Poonam, Neha, everybody has already said very rightly. It is, and also the ecosystem that Mansi has been talking about, the family and your in-laws, your husband, your mother, your parents, everyone. So your ecosystem also will be able to understand when you are dedicatedly focused in this course, and when you are doing it rightly, they will also understand that how much dedication and hard work you are doing. So then the ecosystem will also come and support you. That's how it has been for me as well. Like definitely my husband was always there to support me, but when I took the NSRCEL WSP program, most of them like didn't understand, even my co-founders and all of the others, but I had to convince them. It is upon me to convince them that why I want to do it, when what will, how it will help me and the venture as well. And that has then the support came from my co-founder as well. He said, okay, you please focus on your program, and please do it dedicatedly. I'm there taking care of the venture. That's how my team and my co-founders, my husband, has been able to support me. But you are the one, as a founder, as an entrepreneur, have to be able to convince your family, in-laws, even my mother-in-law. Like, she used to prepare food and everything. Says, beta tum aap please apna session kar lo. Don't worry about food, don't worry about guests, don't worry about anything, just focus on your session and classes. That's how I've been able to perform so well dedicatedly. But that dedication has to be seen inside you as a founder. It has to be seen inside you, because ultimately every human, be mothers, daughter-in-laws, sister-in-law, daughters, every woman ultimately wants to become an entrepreneur. It is always there inside her, deep within. You have to arouse the entrepreneurship thought from your mother-in-law, your mother, your sister-in-law. They also want to be always, sometimes they want to be an entrepreneur. They also want to do something which they had the passion in. So you have to awaken that, and with the ecosystem only you will be able to move forward. Otherwise it is very, very difficult. Alone you will not be able to travel, because you will have to then you will not be able to balance the ecosystem with managing your family, your in-laws, your your child's school, everything. So you have to bring together everyone while you want to travel the journey of this entrepreneurship with NSRCEL. And the women and the people, all of them here in the cohort, they will amazingly support you and motivate you whenever you're feeling lonely, whenever you're feeling heartbroken, whenever you're feeling even you are having some crisis. They will be there. But yes, please do it with your heart and soul.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. My husband was iffy about the journey. Now he's the co-founder of my venture. So that says a lot. Okay. So
Yes.
just go for it. Just
Yeah.
go for it. Don't even think.
All the
Family
best to
will
all of
support.
you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Neha, Poonam, Mansi, Aditi, Nimisha, and Jayanti, who is there in the back, cheering for us. Thank you for joining and also helping, supporting, and motivating to all of us who are here in today's panel discussion. So, thank you, Prof. Anything you want to add? Yeah.
No, nothing. Thanks. Thanks a lot for coming and saying nice things about WSP. It's heartening to see how it has played a role, and how the program has evolved over the years. Very good to see that. And hopefully it's not as if you realized, right? Just because you went out of the program doesn't mean that you thought you will get the last of us. We'll keep funding you for a lot of things. So thanks a lot, Neha. Thanks a lot, Poonam. Thanks, Mansi, and thanks a lot, Aditi.
Anytime, sir. Anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you for having us.
We are all children of you all. Actually,
Yes.
I hope to connect with you, and
Definitely.
I
very
will get
nostalgic.
familiarized with the names. I always do that. We do remember the names and the surnames, such as the strong bond that we have with the community. So hope to see you all soon. So have a good evening. Thank you.
Good
Bye.
evening.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks,
everyone.
All the best,
Professor.
everyone. All the
Yes,
best.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the fireworks of WSP 4.